Hey guys, so when I got my last Moira order, one of the things that I ordered was the Diamond Daze liquid shadow. And that is what we're going to be using to test out for a new product today. And I have some other things that I may not have included in a video yet too. So let's get started. I'm going to moisturize my lips with my Hard Candy Glosstopia Lip Repair Oil. What a last 24 hours it has been, you guys. We were in the house yesterday and smelled something funny. Traced it to the furnace. I was like, oh no, not again. We've had so many problems with our furnace. And it's been replaced, it's been fixed, and yet still there's always a problem. And we don't have any choice in what type of furnace we have because I don't have a basement, so I have to have a special kind of furnace that goes in your house with you, which doesn't work out too well. These furnaces are a pain in the neck. So anyways, we opened the door to where the furnace is, oil everywhere. Something was leaking. So shut it down, called the furnace guy. He came out, he replaced 2 pieces, but he said that hopefully it would be okay, but he said that it's possible that it was another part. And he said he wouldn't be able to get the part until Monday because that's when the part store would be open. But he did replace 2 things and it ran all night and it's been running this morning and so far so good. So I may not need that additional part. But yeah, what a pain in the neck it is when you have to deal with furnaces and oil and all that stuff. Because we've had our oil tank replaced, we've had our fuel line replaced. If you do not own a home and you rent, consider yourself lucky because when you are a homeowner, it's one thing after another. We've had our roof replaced, we've had windows replaced. Yeah, it's just owning a home is a money sucker. So I think sometimes that you are better off renting because then if something goes wrong, it's somebody else's problem. NYX Pro Fix Stick in pink. I don't know cost wise, it is expensive to rent, but if you have to keep spending thousands of dollars on repairs, I don't know that it's really that much cheaper to own because you also have to have insurance, homeowners insurance, and that's very, very expensive. So, yeah, sometimes I think I was better off when I was renting. And actually, I am still renting in a sense because I own my house but not the land it sits on. So I still have to pay rent to somebody. So this is not the way to go because I have to pay rent, plus I have to constantly spend tons of money on the upkeep of my property. There is a housing shortage right now for anybody that's looking to buy. There's hardly anything out there. So I'm just putting some of this NYX Pro Fix Stick on my eyes too. And now I'm going to take e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in Fair Beige. And don't even get me started on washers and dryers. I've lost count on how many washing machines and dryers I've bought in my lifetime because they do not make them good anymore, and it doesn't seem to make any difference what brand you buy or how much you spend. They just, they last. It's almost like the appliance knows when the warranty is up, and it's like, okay, time for me to go. It's like something, a switch flips inside the machine, and boom, it's not going to work right anymore. Then you got to buy another one. But I really feel for anybody that has to go to a laundromat because that is a pain in the neck lugging all that stuff back and forth, not to mention the cost. It is very expensive to go to the laundromat. And the few times that I've had to do it, like when my washer or dryer would break and I was waiting for the next one to be delivered, I found that out quickly that, yeah, how expensive it is to go to the laundromat. And lugging all that stuff back and forth, oh my God. That is one good thing about the type of house that I live in. I mentioned yesterday that it's a 2-bedroom ranch, that I have a laundry room. So I'm never very far from my washer and dryer. So, you know, I can just run over and take things out of the washer and put them in the dryer or hang them up if it's something I want to line dry. So it is convenient not having to run up and down cellar stairs, because my mom has actually fallen down her stairs more than once. And yeah, it's dangerous having a basement. All right, concealer is on, so now we go to the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence, and I'm in the shade Light. So it's been a rough 24 hours, and there's even more going on too that I'm not even going to go into. I feel like I've had a black cloud hanging over my head the last few days where it's been one thing after another. Seems like that's how bad luck goes. It seems like it comes in clusters. You either have a streak of good luck or a streak of bad luck, and hopefully, well, I think that was the third thing, and bad things also come in threes. So I think that was the third thing to go wrong, the furnace. So it should be over now. And usually these bad luck streaks come around the full moon, but this time they did not. You know, there is a decent amount of pigment in this. You really don't have to go in with that second foundation like I do. I think when the warm weather comes, I might start skipping that. Because it's kind of unnecessary. But for now, I like it to look as flawless as possible. So now I'm going in with the CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Foundation in the shade Creamy Natural. Same brush. I mean, that just smooths everything out, gives me additional coverage, makes my skin look more perfect than it really is. Gives me a little more color. So instead of using powder over the first foundation, I just used 2 foundations and then skipped the powder entirely. And there's skincare in both of these foundations. So I'm getting the added benefit of that. All right. How's that? Is that okay? All right, next up is my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Tan Lines. So fingers crossed the furnace continues to run and doesn't start leaking again. I think if it was going to, I think it probably would have last night because it got down to like 20. So it had to work very hard all night. So yeah, I think if it was gonna start leaking again, it would have last night. Okay, now for blush, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Very Well. I have to use that damn magnifying glass all the time. I can never read the print on anything small anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna put some on my hand. And now I'm gonna take the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter in 0.5 Fair. All this time I've been grabbing the wrong container out of my drawer and realized when it was time to start decluttering things that I had been using the wrong one. Okay, I'm gonna go on the side of the makeup sponge and blend this together and then stipple it on. So by mixing those two things together, I'm creating a luminous finish blush. And the reason why I'm using this is because that eyeshadow that I'm going to be using has got like a plum base to it, but it also has, it's like a warm plum base, but then it has blue and green shimmer. It's very, very complex and unique. You will see in a moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is my brows, of course. e.l.f. Shape and Stay brow pencil, which is just a wax. You know the drill. MAC Omega eyeshadow as brow powder. Don't tell me I grabbed the wrong thing. Oh my God. That was the eyeshadow I was going to use as a base for my eye look instead of the Omega. Okay. Let's see if we can fix this. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Yeah, I think it's all right. Not a big deal. Wow. I'm losing it, you guys. Omega. Yeah, that was an Omega. I'm losing it. See, these are the kind of things that you never see in other people's videos. If I make a mistake, I just, acknowledge it and move on because I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. And if you edit all that stuff out, it's unrealistic because that's not life. People screw up. Nobody expects you to be perfect. And if they do, their expectations are too high because that's not how it is. Not everything is always going to work out the way you want it to. All right, brows are done. Now we can go in. We're going to use MAC Finjan, which I got at a CCO. And this is going to be our base eyeshadow. I'm going to use my Lacura brush that I got in one of my palettes that I got from Olay. So we're going to go in the crease. And we're going to go in the outer part of the lid. Yeah, I really need to go to one of those cosmetic company stores more often because it's something so thrilling about getting MAC eyeshadows for $5 because they have a special section in the store where you can get MAC eyeshadows for $5. They have some other ones that are more expensive, but what a deal that is. And sometimes they're colors that, well, most of the time they're colors that you wouldn't normally buy, but they can incorporate into what you already have, and you can, you don't have to do a straight up MAC look. You can incorporate them in with other things that you have, and sometimes it can be one of those filling in the gap situations that I'm always talking about, where it gives you a color, texture, finish that you don't already have that will work well with other things that you have. Okay, and as usual, that little section right on the edge there does not want to adhere. God, that drives me nuts. But it's my own fault because when I put on the concealer and foundation, I never remember to get right in that that spot. So I just have to work a little harder with the eyeshadows. Okay, so before we move on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this e.l.f. Halo Glow, and I'm going to pick up a small brush and just dab some of that onto the brush. And we're going to use that as our highlighter. So I'm just blending that along the brow bone, and we'll put some in the inner corner. I love multi-purposing my products, and why not? Okay, now let's switch over to this Moira Diamond Daze liquid shadow, and the name is Showpiece, and it is very, very unique. So it's got like a plum base, but then it has blue and green shimmer mixed in there. So it's a duochrome and then some, really. All right, let's go. Now, I have tried one of Moira's other formulas of liquid shadows, but I haven't tried this formula yet. The other one that I tried was great, so I'm hoping this will be equally good. Okay, so you want to be very careful when you're using a liquid shadow. You want to make sure that that dries down before you try to, like, curl your lashes or do anything like that. So while that is drying, I'm going to use Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Wild Idea. How ironic, because Moira's liners, I just said that I like, yesterday I just said that I like the Moira liners better, but I don't think I've used this Colourpop one yet, so I thought it would coordinate with this. So we're going to put this on the waterline. Now these, in my opinion, don't have as much of a multi-chrome effect as the Moira ones do, but they are still really pretty and vibrant, so I don't regret that I got them. They're just different than the Moira ones. Okay. Now I'm going to, while we're waiting for this to dry, I'm going to go back into Finjan with a detail brush, and we're going to put some of that along the lower lash line to tie in that plum color. Okay, can you see the duochrome effect when I shift my head? Right here is like green, and then over here is plum. As I move my head, the colors shift in the position that they're in. So this is very, very strong duochrome on this shade. I think they have some other ones in this formula that are not duochrome, so you got to really look at the pictures. They don't give you color descriptions on the website. That drives me crazy. You have to figure it out yourself because I like to know exactly what I'm dealing with, but yeah, they don't say that. You have to just look at it and analyze it yourself. Um, okay. So let me see. Is this dry now? Yeah, for the most part it is. Okay, good. Wet n Wild lash curler. Got to be patient when you do this, or it's not going to do anything. Lottie London Super Fake Mascara. Not easy to find, but worth the hunt at Walmart, because first you have to find a Walmart that actually carries Lottie London. But if you ever do, such a good mascara. I mean, I'm sure that you could just order this online. I would assume that we can order. Lottie London is a UK based brand, but I would assume that they have a US website as well that you could just order from that if you wanted to just order it online and not hunt for a Walmart that has a Lottie London section. You know, CVS gets Lottie London special collections now, limited edition collections, but they never added a regular section to my, well, not to my store anyway. Let me know if your CVS has a Lottie London section, because I thought when they made a real big deal about that, oh, Lottie London is coming to CVS, but yeah, it's only been the limited edition collections. They don't have the permanent stuff. All right, I'm going to shut the camera off and do the other eye, and then we'll come back and do the lips so you can see the finished look. Okay, when I did the second eye, I had to take a brush and blend the upper edge a little bit because just the way it applied. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that, that sometimes you have to just tweak it a little bit with a brush because I didn't have to do that with the first eye. So now I got to wait for it to dry before I do my mascara, so be right back. Okay, and I decided that we were going to tie into this whole plum base thing. We're going to use the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner in Plum and Get It. And we're going to use the e.l.f. Pout Clout Lip Plumping Pen in the Plum on Over. And don't forget, don't click this up any more than what you need, because you can't get it back down. Let the plumping begin. Well, tingling and plumping. Okay, so if you are looking for a shimmery eyeshadow with a strong multi-chrome effect, this is a good one, you guys. Moira Diamond Daze Liquid Shadow in Showpiece. And I have had such good luck with all the Moira stuff that I have gotten. I really am impressed with the quality of their makeup, and their prices are very reasonable, more reasonable than most of the other brands out there, we'll say. And there's the Colourpop liner, I think, tied in okay with this. It's not the exact same shade of green, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.